So the other day we ordered some takeout food from this Italian place out the road, and I'm not a fan of real hot and spicy food, but their hot sausage sub is phenomenal. So I had to pick up a few things for my mother. I called Melissa and I said, why don't you order dinner? I'll pick it up. Well, everything kind of went wrong. You know, everything was taking longer than it should, but I stopped and picked up the food and I came home and I had to run some stuff down to my mom's place. So I took one bite of the sandwich and I'm like, this is really good, you know, but I need to run down to my mom's, take care of some stuff down there. So I run down there and I come back up here to the house, and then I came down to the Woodyard for something, and things just got real busy. Next thing you know, it's like 9:30 at night. I still hadn't eaten dinner. So I go in the house and there's that Italian hot sausage sub, right? And I thought, you know what would go good with that is a little Diet Pepsi. We get these little cans that Hunter likes. They're just tiny little cans, and we have them locked up in the building. So I walk over to the building. Keep in mind, it's 9:30 at night. And before I left, I looked at that sandwich. I said, this is going to be perfect. Hunter is sound asleep. So I go over to the building. I get my little pop. I walk back over to the house. Now, this took a total of maybe 4 minutes, 5 minutes, because I might have checked something on the computer. And I walk over, and on the counter where my sandwich once was is an empty styrofoam container opened up. Hunter had gotten up, walked out, ate that sandwich, and went right back to bed. Like a thief in the night. Unbelievable. But anyway, I'm down here at the Woodyard, and I just cut and split some firewood with the Evo. And I tell you what, that new tumbler, it removes probably at least 90, maybe 95% of the debris out of the firewood. Really, really makes a nice product. But anyway, right now, I want to run down to the pond. I seeded that, I think, 8 days ago. And the day, or maybe 2 days after I seeded it, we got a whole bunch of rain. We haven't had any since, but I think it may have been just enough that it's starting to turn green. So we're going to go down and check that out. I don't think the water is up to the overflow pipe yet. It shouldn't be because it hasn't rained, but it should be pretty close. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's greening up for sure. Would you look at that? Yeah, the grass is coming in nice. Like I said, we had one rain. I don't think we're going to get any for 3 or 4 days. If it stays dry, I'll probably bring a pump down here, and you know, we can water it obviously with the water in the pond, but I'd say in about a month we'll be mowing here. All right, today I'm out here by the clearing, and I've got the mini skid with the Virnig brush cutter on it, and I'm just starting to open some things up over here in the woods, getting things mulched up a bit so I can kind of see what I'm doing. And you may ask yourself, why am I doing this? Well, I got a good reason. We are standing in the exact location of the future home of the new Woodyard. And I did not want to put it here. I did not. We've been going round and round on this, and Melissa and I came out here last night. This has been her suggestion all along. I was thinking maybe down towards Maple Grove or up above Levi's house. Either way, I would have to cut a long road to get into that area. And I already have a road out here. And she brought up some really good points. And like I said, I did not want to put it here. But I woke up this morning and I had a change of heart. I did. I realized that I can't live in the past, you know? And it's kind of hard for me to explain. Well, let me take a minute to collect my thoughts. Okay, I think I figured out how I want to say this. It's hard to tell from where we're standing right here, but I grew up in my mom and dad's place, which is down that way, probably, I don't know, 2,000 feet. And they had a nice big piece of property. And my sister's house, which used to be the old homestead, it's down that way, probably 1,500 feet or so. And that's where I grew up, down there. And then in 93, I think it was 93, somewheres around there, Melissa and I bought our property up here. It's off of a different road. And then just a few years ago, we bought this piece of property all the way down to the other road and to where Levi and Kate live. So we didn't even own this 5 years ago right here. Our property ended about where the road ended out there. So we bought this, and I just didn't want to turn this into a work area. I just didn't want to do it. I thought to myself, you know, it's a nice food plot. You can hunt out here. It's just a nice spot away from everything. And I didn't want to screw it up with a work area. See, when I grew up down there, it felt like, you know, when you're a little kid, it felt like you lived in the middle of nowhere, you know? And since that time, between my mom's property and where my sister lives and our property that Melissa and I bought, we've doubled the size of it and then some. And it was just always nice coming out in the woods just to go for a hike or to go hunting. And like I said, when you're a kid, you felt like you're in the middle of nowhere. But in reality, we are not in the middle of nowhere anymore, you know? We're one of the last few holdouts around here. There's housing plans everywhere. Now you can come out here, and I'm probably 1,500 feet at least from the closest house, and that's our house. And it's nice to get out here, but you can still hear the road and things like that. And I got to thinking, I'm not going to ruin it. I'm going to improve it. And I'm going to improve everything. I'm going to make this really nice. And you'll still be able to hunt out here. Heck, I have deer walking through the woodyard all the time. It's just different here now. And I got to let go of the past. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, like in deer season, there were hunters on every hill, in every valley, and it was a big deal. And it's just, we still enjoy it, we really do, but it's just not the same as it used to be. And I always looked at back in the woods, just leave it alone or make improvements for the wildlife. And I know I can do that with a new woodyard out here and some other things along with the woodyard. We're gonna make this functional and beautiful. And I'm telling you, my wheels have been turning. I'm excited. Now I got this nice road that goes all the way back to the house right there. So what I'm gonna do, I'll continue that road right through the field right here. We're going to leave all of this alone. We're not going to touch any of that. And I'll bring a road right through here. I'm going to have to take down a bunch of trees, but I'm going to leave some of the nicer trees strategically placed. You know what I mean? Where I got to figure this all out. But what I want to be able to do is come in here like with a log truck. Most of the wood yard is going to be over on this side. And you go over there another 50 yards, it just drops straight off. But most of the wood yard is going to be in this area. But I would like to be able to pull a log truck in here and loop it around and go straight back out the road, but have all that back that way. Nothing out here in the field. Another pavilion like we have down at the wood yard now, but larger, right across here. Truck will drive in beside it. I started kind of sketching it all out last night, but there's, I mean, a huge amount of room out here, especially compared to what I've been working with. And I wanted to bring the mini skid out here with the brush cutter, and you just got to mow down some of that brush and some of the stilt grass, and then things start to make sense, you know. It kind of looks tight almost now, but there's a lot of room in here. I mean, a lot. And you know, if you bring that log truck in over here, maybe we could do firewood poles over that way, but we'll have the sawmill, the firewood processor, everything out here in a much larger pavilion. Yeah, we got a lot of options out here. It's going to take a lot of work, but like I said, we've got a lot of options. And I just want to go at it like I am. Start cleaning it up, figuring out exactly how I want the layout to be, and we'll make this a really nice spot. Along with the wood yard, we could have a little barn, maybe some animals. Melissa would like a much bigger garden. She just has a real tiny one right now. She just grows mostly tomatoes and peppers and things like that. But it's time to start using this place more. And it's not hurting anything at all. It's actually probably helping things as far as the wildlife goes. But things just aren't the way they used to be around here, you know? And like I said, when you're a kid, you have in your head that you're just going out in the middle of nowhere. But that's not the case. It's not. And it's going to be good. I went from, like I said, not wanting to do this out here at all to really, really excited about this. This will be a lot of cool stuff out here over the next couple years. The wood yard, I'm going to call tomorrow about getting a price on a pavilion. We already got the road out here. Clear some trees. Oh man, this is going to be big. It's going to be nice. Well, like I said, I want to leave some of the bigger, straighter, healthiest looking trees, like that nice maple right there, that nice red oak right there. Maybe bring the road in right on the other side of them and just loop around and be able to come right back out. Have a firewood storage area, a new wood bunker, get the processor set up properly so I have lots of room and I don't have to like move one thing to get to another thing. The mini skid's great for this because, like I said, you can come in here, start mowing this stuff down, working around stuff, and then you can start to visualize things a little bit. That's kind of how my brain works for some reason, but like that road that I built out here, I knew what it would look like before I started it, you know? I just knew exactly what it would look like when I was done, how much cut there would be in some areas, how much fill would be in other areas, and it turned out exactly like I pictured it. And this morning is when this all hit me. I know what it's going to look like. Everything except exactly where the road's going to go, but I can just visualize what this will look like when it's done. Yeah, there's a few nice white oaks in here, red oaks, maple. Most of the cherry's pretty rough. Some of these maples, that one there is dying. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to get back on the mini skid and we'll do some more clearing, cleaning up, and get it to start taking shape. The next thing I can do is bring the excavator out, all these like treetops that are down and things like that, start collecting all that stuff. And at that point, we can start kind of laying it out, and I'll figure out where everything's going to be exactly, start knocking down trees. It is another beautiful day today. I'm walking down to the Woodyard here. We got to take care of something that made its home in a walnut log. This gnarly looking walnut log right here, right below that big knot, there's a hole, and it is just loaded with yellow jackets. I mean, they're busy. They're coming and going. You know, I was going to spray them right now, but I think I'll wait till this evening. That way, just stick the nozzle right in there, let them have it. All right, we got to fuel up the excavator. Then we're going to take this out to the clearing. Or should I say, home of the new Woodyard. So Levi is filling firewood baskets out of the bunker. How do you like the new tumbler?
It's a world of difference. It's perfect. It's like you hand selected each piece and put in that pile. There's just no bark, no mess. It's just all good firewood.
Wait, what a difference, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because before that was half the battle, going through all the...
Yeah, as it just sits, breaks down, you know, you just kind of always junk in there, you're digging through, and it get buried, but it's all good firewood now.
That's good, that's great.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm going to head out to the clearing here in a little bit and get ready to move the Woodyard.
Yeah, exciting.
All right, we're making some progress here. Things are starting to shape up and starting to make sense, actually. Some of this stuff wasn't too bad, but a lot of it, there were entire treetops tangled up in the brush. I'm starting to pile right there. I'll end up bringing the big skid loader out with the grapple once we find a good place to burn. But it's starting to make sense to me now. In other words, I'm starting to develop a plan here. Like all plans, it's subject to change, but I don't know if you can see that. Out there's my road, straight shot coming in. You see how this ground over here starts rolling off down over the hill? Well, it goes out there about another 40 yards or so and then drops straight off. But this is going to play in my favor. What I'm thinking, road comes straight in here, go beside that big oak right there, that cherry will come out, but we're going to have a big circle here, where if you're coming in here with a trailer or a log truck or whatever, they can just come in and make a big loop, come right back out onto the road and go out. But this down here, somewhere, you know, the road's going to come right through this cherry tree right here. Somewhere right in here, we'll break a little road off of it and go down there on the low side. Have the processor, all that sitting somewhere in here. I'm not sure where yet. But have the conveyor off the processor. A couple of them big concrete blocks. You know what I mean? The processor will be up about 4 feet. I can lower the tumbler down, I should say. And we could load the dump trailer or a dump truck right off of the tumbler on the low side, and then use the big Wolfe Ridge conveyor, come off the side somewhere for a big bulk firewood pile. That's kind of what I'm thinking right now. So you would pull in, once again, big circle, but have a road cuts down here and then hooks back in to the main drive going around the circle. And you could load. That would work out good, actually. Because what I'm going to need to do, there should be some good shale in here. We'll have to dig a few test holes and see. But leave this nice oak right here. But if there's some good shale in here, you know, I can daylight this out to where it just drops straight off. It's a big area right there. It could even be used for storage. But I could take some of that shale. Once I strip the topsoil off, I can pad everything with about 4 or 5 inches of shale before we put stone on the road going around it. Kind of what I'm thinking right now. In the pavilion with the sawmill up there by the excavator. Basically, the plan is evolving. I'm liking the looks of this area down in here a lot. There's a lot of usable space in here, and it won't hurt a thing using it. Earlier today, I made a couple calls. I called Pole Barns Direct. That's who built our building over at the house and the pavilion down below. And they're going to get me a price on a 40 by 60 pavilion out here. The one I currently have is 32 by 48. And then I'm also going to have a couple lean-tos on the side of this one. I haven't got the price yet or anything, but they said they could get it before winter, no problem. So we'll just have to see how it goes. I'll be working on this, not every day. It's not going to take that long. Just kind of on and off as time allows. But once I get like the footprint all cleaned up and cleared, then I'll have a better idea exactly where my road's going to go, what trees I have to take down, what trees I'm going to save. I want to save as many as I can. I don't want them to be in the way. I just think it'll look nice and give me a nice, it'll keep you in the shade quite a bit. So that's kind of what I'm after. But there is plenty of room out here. This is way, way bigger than the current Woodyard, and I'm just getting started. Oh, but anyway, before we wrap this up, I got to tell you a story. I had to run out for a little bit today, and there's a road near here that they have been working on for probably close to 2 years. It's a big project, road widening. They're doing all kind of stuff. And there's a sign up there that says funding for this project. It's a giant sign. It's from a bipartisan agreement or bipartisan Save America bill or Invest in America bill or something back from when Biden was president. I don't like those signs. I don't know if it's something that they have to do, but to me, it's like they want to be congratulated on actually spending tax money on something that they should be. One of the few things that they should be is building roads. If it were up to me, I mean, road building, road maintenance, and military, a couple other things, and that would be it. You know what I mean? But I don't like seeing those signs. I don't know why it bothers me. It just feels like they want congratulated or something because they're spending tax money the way it was meant to be taxed. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's about it for today's video. Appreciate y'all being here, and I will catch you on the next one.